Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight, we have the legend that is Muddy Waters, and he's going to be playing his classic Hoochie Coochie Man. So let's get Muddy up on screen and see how he gets on.
The gypsy woman told my mother before I was born, you got a boy child coming, gonna be a son of a gun, gonna make pretty women jump and shout. Then the world wanna know what this all about, but you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. I'm the Hoochie Coochie Man. Everybody knows I'm here. I got a black cat bone, I got a mojo too, I got the John the Conqueror. I'm gonna mess with you, I'm gonna make you girl leave me by my hand. Then the world will know that I'm a Hoochie Coochie Man. Well, you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. Well, you know I'm the Hoochie Coochie Man. Everybody knows I'm here.
I'm just gonna jump in here because it's absolute classic blues from Muddy Waters, and this guy inspired so many people, so many later players. I'm gonna run through them a little bit later, and also tracks that have been named after Muddy Waters tracks. But I'm just jumping in here before we get into the solo because Muddy's not going to be doing the solo, but his playing, as you can see there, just with the right hand, not using a pick here, just using the thumb, but such a relaxed style, and his voice is the main attraction here. The way that he puts across that vocal, like telling a story. All the best blues guys could do that. The crowd are really into this as well, because even in that intro where we had the main riff and then the gap, they kind of cheered in the gap, and they cheer when Muddy delivers particular lines of the vocal. So it's a great audience as well. Really stripped back performance here. No gain, no overdrive anywhere. Let's rejoin it just to get into a little bit of this solo. Okay, just diving into that little lead break, really cool, really suited the track. Great little bit of blues playing there, but also you would have noticed the amount of whammy bar action going on there. Of course, back in the day, the very first whammy bar was called a Bigsby, and it looks a little bit different to what we now know as a standard bridge and whammy bar, but that's Bigsby being used all the time throughout that whole solo. I always mention how important vibrato is is. And some players just introduce that whammy bar all the time to give them that vibrato. Even at the top of bends, you can work on your technique to get exactly the vibrato you want on fret and at the top of bends as well. But the second best thing is to use a whammy bar or a Bigsby. And this is what's happening all the time. This is one of those videos that really shows how important vibrato is, especially in the blues and emoting. You want to emote in the blues. That's what it's all about. Just getting the audience to feel an emotion, whether it be from the vocal, the great vocal that Muddy Waters is throwing in there, or whether it be from the lead guitar. And of course, if you haven't got a whammy bar, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You want to try and get your vibrato on your left hand to be exactly the same as what you can do with the whammy bar, so that when you don't have a whammy bar, you still haven't got a problem. You can still emote through the guitar on frets and at the top of bends with the same kind of sound that you'd get if you did have a whammy bar at your disposal. If it was just straight notes, the guitar wouldn't be saying anything. It's very much like a voice, a human voice. If somebody sings and they just sing a straight note with no expression, no vibrato, no technique on there, it's going to be boring. There's nothing to latch onto. Whereas every singer, or at least every good singer, has vibrato in their voice, whether it be fast or slow. It is always on there because it needs that in order to emote and actually get a connection with another person, with an audience. They can then understand it as a singing voice and not just a straight note. But let's get back into this track.
On the 7th day, on the 7th month, the 7th doctor said, we're born for good luck. And that you see, I got $700. Don't you mess with me, but you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. Well, you know I'm the hoochie coochie boy. The whole round world know we here.
And there we go, some classic blues from Muddy Waters. Just a quick word about the people and the bands that he inspired. Rolling Stone, which was one of Muddy Waters' tracks, that was the reason why the Rolling Stones are called the Rolling Stones. Rolling Stone magazine, exactly the same reason. That was the Muddy Waters track. Jimi Hendrix did a cover of Catfish Blues, which was the other name for the Rolling Stone track. Cream did a cover of Rollin' and Tumblin' on their first album as well. Bob Dylan did a cover of that too, and Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin, everyone of course knows that, is based on You Need Love by Muddy Waters. Willie Dixon actually wrote You Need Love, and he did a lot of writing for Muddy Waters back in the day. He also wrote a song called You Shook Me, and Angus Young from AC/DC said that lyrically that was the inspiration for You Shook Me All Night Long. The Allman Brothers did Hoochie Coochie Man, of course the track that I'm featuring tonight. Paul Rodgers did an album of Muddy Waters tracks, and on there you had Gary Moore, Jeff Beck and Brian May. The list just goes on, the players that Muddy Waters inspired in later generations, and just coming from that time, the late 50s, all the way through to the early 80s. Unfortunately, he passed away in 83, I believe. But that whole career around that time, people really looked at his blues and what he was doing and really took so much from that to then insert into their own playing and try and get the same kind of vibe that Muddy Waters got live, but it's so difficult to do. So another one of the legends of blues playing, blues music in general, really had a massive effect on everyone that saw him and heard his music, and all those bands that I mentioned and players who actually have composed with Muddy Waters in mind. But thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at. Keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!